preacher, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Traveling preacher.
Well, he was a Methodist circuit riding minister. And he didn't marry until he was 41 years old. And he met Grandma, who was a second-time widow with 3 kids.
And her name was?
Her name was Martha Ellen Hill. That was her maiden name. And she had married a minister. His name was Jones. And Mom told me about, he was also a circuit rider. And some of the people, the women in some of the places that he preached, they took up an offering and bought enough beautiful gray satin to make her a dress, and he was to take it to her. And when he went home, and he carried that around with him, and when he got home, why, he gave it to her and was very happy about it. You know, she was going to have a beautiful dress. And she was an extremely jealous woman. And she took the scissors or razor or something and cut that into little bitty pieces and threw it in the fire. Well, I don't know whether that was part of, but anyway, they divorced. And the next man she married was named Jillcoat. And she didn't have any kids by her first marriage, but she had 3 by Jillcoat. There was Lily and Nevada and Munford.
Jillcoat, what is that?
Jillcoat?
English, probably.
Don't ask me.
Not Indian name.
Sound like English.
Is it
Oh,
J-I-L or C-H?
Huh?
It's C-H, isn't it? Or J?
Gilcoat. They're just like it sounds. Jillcoat. And I had always thought that these people who, in our family, who was never terribly intelligent, had come from Grandpa's side. Well, one of his brothers was like that, you know, he couldn't take care of himself. Well, then here came Nevada. I don't know whether she was like that, but she evidently wasn't, because she grew up and married, and her husband never had any kids. And they always said that she could never take care of herself in later years as she grew older. So when her husband died, why, then they put her in a home up there somewhere in Oklahoma.
So that was your aunt?
Yeah, from Grandma. It was Papa's next oldest half-sister. And then Grandpa and Grandma married, and they had 3, 2 boys and a girl. Papa was the oldest, Albert Lee, and Martin Luther, who was one of those who could not learn. And yet, you couldn't cheat him out of nothing. I mean, a penny.
He knew numbers, huh?
whenever it came to mathematics, he was right there. He could tell you right to the penny what he had made every day. It didn't make any difference how they were being paid, whether it was by the piece or by the hour or what. And he was a musician. Never was taught music, but he played a violin. And he played around with all the dances and everything, and was wilder than a buck.
That was Luther?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was Luther.
Yeah, I remember him.
And mean.
He had 2 daughters? Did he have 2 daughters?
3.
3. No sons, though.
No. And the youngest was a girl, Edna Mae.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now that's Luther's daughter, then.
No, that's his sister.
Sister, okay.
His only own sister. Papa and Uncle Luther's only own sister.
Who was the one that,
She lives over at Sears.
she's still around?
Who?
No.
No.
Ain't Edna? No, she died.
Are you talking about Vera?
No, I'm thinking about when we went to
Amy's funeral?
Amy's funeral.
That was her daughter, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ina Mae or Ida Mae?
Yeah.
Ina Mae.
Ina
That
Mae.
was
That's
Edna's
right.
oldest daughter.
One of them.
Yeah, oldest daughter.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think Everfay was there, was
I don't think so. I haven't seen Eva Faye.
Yeah,
Did Eva Faye die or? No, she's.
she?
I think
Someone-
Everfay was there.
Was
She
she?
lives in-
I can't remember her.
Seemed like she wasn't, but I don't know. Of course, we went
She's
over
not in any of
Robert's
our
house.
pictures. She's not
We
in
went
our
over to Robert's
pictures.
house and
I don't think.
Yeah.
I think she was in with
The other one, Ina Mae was on
Ina
there, I
Mae was
think.
there,
I'm
yeah.
not sure.
the, sorry.
Anyway, these 3 kids were 3 and 4 years apart. Papa and Luther and Edna. Grandpa was still a circuit riding minister. And he came home about every 2 or 3 years.
2 or 3 years?
Yeah.
I mean, he was
He
gone
couldn't-
all that time?
Well-
He couldn't live with it.
Well, he came home and she would get pregnant and she'd throw him out. She was just about my height, 5'1.5" or 2 inches, and meaner than mean. And he was 6'1" or 2. And Papa told me that when he was about 3 years old or 4 years old, they were living in a tent down in Bonham, Texas. And he heard all this yelling and cussing. And he looked out, and Grandpa was never a fat man. He was like a rail. And here, him and his long, slim legs, and Grandma right behind him with a butcher knife, chasing him around the tent. And then he came home, I guess must have been, I know he must have spent a little while,
Yeah.
because it must have made a living for him. How much of a living, I don't know. And but when Papa was 3 years old, they were living in this tent, a tent, and I guess Uncle Luther must have been a baby, and and Munford and Nevada and Lily, Grandma and Grandpa, was all sleeping in the tent. Well, the tent caught fire. And they all got out. And Grandma started checking, or Grandpa or somebody, and they couldn't find Papa. Evidently he was the baby. Maybe Uncle Luther hadn't come along yet. But anyway, Grandpa ran back, and everything was burned except 3-corner part of the mattress and covers that was over it. And he pulled those covers back and found Papa there, and one of his legs was in the fire. Or maybe both of them was, but anyway, he reached down and caught him above the knee and was pulling him out, and flesh and skin and everything came loose. And then he got him out, and he was sick for a long time, and Papa, his knee on that side and the back of his leg was just like a horse's hoof after that. See, when you don't graft skin over burned areas where you've lost the skin, then that's the way it does. And during the winter, or when we were working in the field or something, well, those things would break open, and he would have an awful time trying to.
Yeah.
And then that's the same place that he got shot in.
Yeah.
Guy shot him back of the knee several years later, well, when I was about 11 years old.
Yeah. Well, didn't he break his hip or something, or one time, or?
Didn't he what?
Didn't he break his leg or hip or something with a horse or something one time too?
Oh, he got thrown off the horse, and it dislocated his hip.
Oh, okay.
And he didn't know it. But shortly after that, why, see, he was working for the railroad then. He's making ties for the railroad. And he got so bad that, well, he could walk or ride the horse. But when he'd get to the house, he couldn't get in the door. And there's only one step up, and Mom would have to help him in. And this went on for years, and he thought he had rheumatism until he went through this clinic when Bonnie was born, when I was already 22 years old. I was about 7, I think, when that happened, and then when I was 22 years old, well, he went through this clinic, and they found that his hip had been dislocated, and they had, the socket had grown up with cartilage and bone and like that, and they couldn't do anything about it then. So
couldn't go back to the original place because it wasn't the same
no, they probably now,
surgery.
this late date, could have done something like that.
Yeah.
But then even when Bonnie was born in 1941, they didn't know that much about doing anything like that.